Hello guys, welcome back to Poli channel. This video I want to share about Global Lab update for 5 August 2022. But be noticed, all content on this Global Lab video was recorded on Global Lab server. So this is all content that will update on our live server in future. And mostly all this update will implement on Korea live server for next maintenance update. And following outside Korea server, if they already feel this content already ready to release outside Korea server globally. Okay, to enjoy watch my video, make sure you turn on this video subtitle, and also you can use timestamp that I already provide to go to target topic that you want. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on bell notification to get any update and guide on Black Desert World. Okay, let's start this video content using any feature that I provide. Okay, this is official website for Global Lab update at 5 August 2022. And take notice some of this Global Lab update at 5 August 2022. This is follow up for more detailed info from recap upcoming update that they share on last Late Night Talk with Per Abyss at 3 August 2022 that I mentioned on this video. Okay, first feature update about new skill for Fairy and increase maximum level for Fairy. So in future, maximum level for Radiant Fairy increase 10 level to become 50, and after your Radiant Fairy reach level 50, your skill slot will increase by 1 slot. But take notice, any skill that your Fairy can learn is still RNG. So your Fairy can learn any kind of skill, not only for new skill. And about this new skill that called Continuous Care, there are 5 grades for this skill, and the difference for each grade is maximum number that you can use automatically after this item effect is depleted, either 5 item, 8 item, 12 item, 16 item, and the highest grade is 20 item. And just info for you, as you can see on Global Lab server, for example, my Fairy is Radiant Fairy that already reached level 40, and when this update come, if you want to level up this Fairy to become level 50, if you're using Sweet Honey Wine, you just need to use 66 Sweet Honey Wine to level up to become level 50. But because this level up mechanic will avoid your excess experience, my Fairy just only can consume 65 pieces Sweet Honey Wine before she can reach level 50, and I must do the second consumption to reach level 50 using the Sweet Honey Wine, because by using Sweet Honey Wine, this will give me more experience that I needed for my Fairy. As you can see, when my Fairy reached level 50, actually I'm very unlucky I didn't get this new skill to show you more detail. But don't worry, because this is Global Lab server, test server, I can reroll my Fairy and level up until level 50 to test and give you example for this skill. As you can see, I just got this new skill from my Fairy, and if I click this setting, I can choose any kind of food, elixir, perfume, scroll, and etc. And by using this function, you can stack any kind of food, elixir, perfume, and scroll to always active when this buff duration is finished. And also they already provide 3 preset for any kind of your need, maybe for combat, life skill, or etc. This is freely you can set it, depend on your needs. And to activate this new skill Fairy, they just add new icon if you're using this user interface, and this icon called auto use food or elixir that you can turn it on or off, like turn on Agri's favor. And if you right click this icon, you will go to this Fairy skill preset, but if you left click this icon, you will activate this skill. And as you can see, because previously I just set 1 meal to continuously use, when I activate this skill, my Fairy just give me this food to be active, and you will see this icon animation when this skill is active. And if you left click again, you will deactivate this skill. But take notice for food, especially for cornmeal, we only can choose one type of cornmeal, because this cornmeal is the highest food that we cannot stack it with another food. But if you choose lower type of food rather than cornmeal type, you can stack all type of food with 30-minute cooldown for each type of food. And also for elixir, they also mention you also can stack any kind of normal elixir, but not for draft elixir, because draft elixir is the highest grade that we cannot stack it with another type of elixir. And also we only can select one type of perfume for this automatic feature. And then for any kind of scroll, they already make set prioritize for any scroll that cannot be stuck at one time to become prioritize the best scroll first from this scroll priority. And for more detail about any item that available for automatic function using this Fairy, you can check on this video description. I already put link for this list from this Global Lab website. And they they also mention because of this new skill release for Fairy, chance to get any kind of skill from Radiant Fairy will be changed. And for more detail, this is list for any raid if you want to change any skill after this update come in future. And don't worry about this change, as they already mentioned on last Lightning Talk with Per Abyss, with this new skill update for Fairy, they will add some new event that will give you Tayah Orb to try to get this new skill after this update come to our live server, expected next to maintenance update and next maintenance for Korea server. Okay, next about class balancing, as they already promised at last Lightning Talk with Per Abyss, they will do some class balancing. First for Warrior, especially his Awakening, there are some balancing, specifically some nerf for this skill, that they just reduce debuff duration for this skill from 10 seconds to become 5 seconds only when your hit successful landing to target opponent. But the debuff effect still same, they just reduce debuff duration for this skill only. And next for Sorceress Awakening got some buff, especially for PvE, they just add this skill critical chance for 40%, but this critical chance only apply for monster only. And also damage for Sorcerer's Awakening, especially for this skill, they just increase number of hit from this skill with same damage, but PvP damage from this skill will be reduced. So PvP damage still same, they just buff PvE damage from the Sorcerer's Awakening skill. And next for Tamer, for Succession Tamer there are no change, they just add new key combination for this skill by pressing Shift C. And for Tamer Awakening, there are so many changes, either improving the skill combo, add lock function for evasion move, for Tamer Awakening, increase resonance effect from this skill from 5 minutes to become 1 hour, change this skill especially for bound effect that only apply for monster only, and also add forward guard for this skill when you using it, and also core skill from this skill, they already changed it to become unlock this bound for PvP, and also they increase Heilang efficiency for this skill that will make your Heilang to become always moving beside of your Tamer character after using this roar skill, and also they just buff this skill by increasing attack range, change direction for this Heilang attack, and add this stiffness to be applied until this Heilang effect duration is end. And next about Musa, on this week Global Lab update, Musa Succession got some change. Actually this is bit nerf for Musa PvE, but this nerf only apply when this 3 skill on cooldown. They just reduce PvE damage for this 3 skill when this 3 skill on cooldown. And for Maehwa, especially for her Awakening, they just change this flow skill, especially for her knockdown and down smash attack, that they spared this down attack on successful first hit and knockdown attack on next hit. And next for Valkyrie, especially for her main skill, they just fix some issue for this skill, but I think this is not a big deal. And next for Kunoichi Awakening got some balancing from this week Global Lab update. They just improve evasion movement for Kunoichi Awakening, so you can do sprinting after using this evasion movement in future. And for this Kunoichi Awakening skill, they just reduce PvP damage reduction to become 59% only, so they just increase PvP damage for this Kunoichi Awakening skill, and also rotation attack speed from this skill will be increased. And they just add continuous combo for this rotation skill using another skill as shown on this clip, and they also increase animation speed for some of Kunoichi Awakening skill. And for this skill, they just buff PvP damage by reducing PvP damage reduction rate, and also damage when you using this skill during cooldown will be increased to become 55% than previous update. And also they just reduce movement distance from this skill, but resource consumption for this skill, especially for her stamina consumption, they just change it from 150,000 stamina to become 40 point stamina only. And also for another skill, stamina consumption for this skill already reduced to become 200 point stamina only when using this skill. And next for Ninja class, especially for his Awakening, they just fix some skill, and also same as Kunoichi, they just improve this skill so you can sprint after using evasion skill. And for Ninja Succession, I think this is not a big deal, they just fix some issue for any Ninja Succession skill. And next for Striker, actually they already plan to add balancing for Striker Succession, but for the Striker Succession information, they will reveal it on next Global Lab update, so just stay tuned on Poli channel. I will info you later on next week Global Lab update for Striker balancing, especially his Succession. And next for Witch and Wizard, they just increase speed animation for this skill, and also they just add super armor when start activate this skill and invisibility when moving using this skill. And then they also improve this skill to become more smoothly combo with another skill. Okay, next, any change that's special for Wizard, especially for Wizard Awakening. They just buff Wizard Awakening skill damage, especially for PvE, but PvP damage still same for this for Wizard Awakening skill. And special for Witch, especially with Succession, they just reduce skill cooldown for this skill from 5 seconds to become 4 seconds only. And then for Witch Awakening, same as Wizard Awakening, they just increase PvE damage for some of this Witch Awakening skill, but PvP damage still same. And next for Dark Knight class, for Dark Knight Succession, they just fix this skill. I think this is not a big deal. And for this Dark Knight Succession skill, they just change bone effect from this skill to become only applied to monster. And they just add super armor effect when using this skill. But resource consumption from this skill, they just change it from combat source to become 150 stamina. And also they just reduce combat source consumption when using this skill that previously you need use stamina will be changed to become using combat source in future. And also for this Dark Knight Succession skill, they just reduce stamina consumption when using this skill to become 200 stamina only. And also for this skill, they just add forward guard when using this skill. And also they just fix some issue when using combo from this skill. And for this flow skill, they just increase speed for this skill animation when you combo it with another skill. And also another Dark Knight Succession skill, they just change bone effect that only apply to monster only. But they also add super armor effect when using this skill. And they also change combo for some flow skill for this Dark Knight Succession, following on this explanation. And next for Lahn main skill, they just change resource consumption from this skill from previously using stamina, they change to become using combat source. And they just add HP recovery when you successful landing hit when using this skill. And skill cooldown from this skill reduced to 2 seconds only and change to become cannot be used during cooldown. And they just reduce stamina consumption from this skill to become 100 point only. And also they just fix this skill so you can recover your stamina when skill animation still active. And also for another flow skill, they just improve it to become recover stamina when this skill animation is active. And next for Lahn Awakening, they just improve this gliding skill to become have more smooth animation than before. And also another Lahn Awakening skill, they just improve it to become restore stamina when still perform this skill animation. And then change for some Lahn skill animation, they just change this skill animation to become like this. This is more faster than previous animation. And also for another Lahn Awakening skill, they also improve this skill to become can combo with another skill and faster its movement. And they just increase the buff from this skill to reduce all DP target from -15 to become -20, but the duration still same. And also skill cooldown from this skill, they will reduce it from 17 seconds to become 15 seconds only. And also they just add 6% reduction for all evasion rate for 10 seconds after using this skill. Next for Archer class, they just add lock function for this skill, so you can lock this skill if you didn't want to use it. And also they increase PvE damage from this skill, but PvP damage still same. And next for Shai character, Shai also got some change, especially for her PvE damage. They just nerf PvE damage for Shai skill, but PvP damage still same because they reduce PvP damage reduction rate from this skill. And also for another skill, same as before, they just reduce PvE damage from Shai skill. And also for another skill, so this 3 main skill for Shai, they just got reduce its PvE damage, but PvP damage still same. And for Shai buff, this buff will active for all your allies, and also for yourself for 60 seconds. And continuous healing skill for Shai skill, they will increase it from 200 point HP to become 300 point. So by using this skill, your Shai will heal more greater than before. Okay, next for Guardian, they just improve range for grab skill for Guardian Awakening, so you can grab target more farther than before. And surprisingly, Guardian got PvE buff. As you can see for all this skill, Guardian Awakening got PvE damage buff, but PvP damage still same. And also for this skill, they just unlock this critical hit rate that previously only apply for monster to become also apply for PvP content. And next for Guardian Succession, they also increase PvE damage from this skill, but PvP damage still same. So overall, Guardian will got huge buff especially for PvE damage, either Awakening and Succession. And next for Hashashin, they just changed this skill animation and also this skill behavior for Hashashin Succession. And next for Nova class, first for Nova Succession, they just fix some of the skill animation to become like this as shown on this clip. And then they just increase Nova Succession PvE damage, but for PvP damage still same. And next for Nova Awakening, they just increase PvP damage for this skill by reducing PvP damage reduction. And also they just add recovery for Nova Awakening resource 0.2% for each hit. And then they just change resource consumption for this Nova Awakening from using 200 stamina to become using 150 combat source only. And also evasion skill when using acceleration, they just reduce stamina consumption from 150 point to become 100 point only. So Nova class got buff either Awakening and Succession. And next for Sets class, for Set Succession, they just add this skill critical hit chance plus 50% but only for monster only, and 25% critical chance for PvP. And they just increase buff magic attack power from 10 point to become 16 point from this skill. And electric shock effect from this skill has been removed. And they just increase PvE damage for this skill, but PvP damage still same. And they also remove electric shock effect from this skill. And then they just add forward guard when using this skill, and also increasing some PvE damage for all this skill, but PvP damage still same. And for this skill, they just reduce skill cooldown from 20 seconds to become 15 seconds only. And for this skill, rather than they just increase PvE damage, they also add critical chance plus 50% when using this skill. And they also add forward guard from the Set Succession skill when the skill animation still active. And next for Sets Awakening, for this skill combo, when you left click, this flow skill will immediately active as shown on clip below. And also they just increase PvE damage from the Sets Awakening skill, but PvP damage still same. And also for this skill stamina consumption, they just reduce it to become 150 point only. And also for another flow skill stamina consumption, they also reduce it to become 150 point only. Next for Corsair class, first for Corsair Succession, they just increase attack range for this skill, and then add invisibility effect when moving using this skill. And then they just improve this flow skill to become more easy to combo with another skill. And also skill animation from this skill, they just increase it to become more faster. Next for Corsair Awakening, they just increase efficiency for your Otter companion when using some skill, either following new target when you using Corsair Awakening skill. And also your summoned Otter will move immediately on new Corsair location when this Corsair moving. And also they increase PvE damage for this Corsair Awakening, but PvP damage still same. And the last for Drakania class, they just balancing PvP damage for Drakania Succession by increasing PvP damage reduction for some Drakania Succession skill. And they also remove down attack from this skill and remove ion charge mechanic from this skill. And also they just fix some invisibility status from this skill to become more accurate than before. And then for Drakania Awakening, especially for this flow skill, they just increase attack range from this skill. And also you can use combo skill when using this skill following from this skill animation that's shown on this clip below. Okay, that's all class balancing from this week Global Lab update, and they still continue this class balancing on next week Global Lab update, so just stay tuned on Poli channel. I will show you more class balancing on next week Global Lab update. And for more detail about this class balancing, you can check on this video description. I already put link for this translated website in this video description. You can check it for more detail. And next future update about item. In future, they will increase upper limit price from central market for these 3 items, either this perfume elixir, ancient power black shard, and ancient seal red shard. And next improvement when you doing water scooping using empty bottle. If you use auto water scooping, in future your water scooping activity will not stop if you get special item. So you can continue your water scooping activity when got any kind of special item. And they just improve how to exchange Narugear weapon or armor using beginner blackstone iPhone, so in future you can do bulk exchange at once. And next improvement for content, in future they just add option to get longer duration priest buff. In future, if you want to take priest buff by talking to any priest, they will give option to you to choose longer duration priest buff that will stay for 300 minutes, that will cost you 10 million silver for each buff. But buff effect from this option still same like another priest buff, that you can get this priest buff from any kind of priest NPC from any major city. And also they will add 300 minute duration buff for any kind buff that you get from guild building, and you can purchase this 300 minute buff from guild building directly using silver. And then for Terrmian event summer 2022 event, they just make some change that will apply in future. First, for any kind of food that you can purchase it daily from for Papu and other NPC, in future you can put it on family inventory. And also they just add animation when your character eat any kind of food from this event. And they just fix any kind of food cooldown from this food event. And another huge improvement, they just reduce cooldown time when using transformation scroll to transform to become Papu or Otter from 20 minutes to become 1 minute only. And they just change name for permanent scroll to transform to become Otter or Papu. As reward from this Terrmian event, they will remove event name and change it to become permanent name for all this permanent scroll that you can exchange to transform to become Otter or Papu. And next for fishing during this event, in future if you fishing on Papu side or Otter side, you will have 10% chance to get another kind of fish from another side from this fishing spot. So for example, if you fishing on Papu side, you have chance 10% to get otter fish, purple fish, and also opposite side. And for more detail about full guide for this Terrmian Summer 2022 event, you can check on my previous video that are very detailed to explain any kind of quest and reward that you can do and get from this huge event. And make sure you check timestamp when using this guide to go to specific topic that you want. Okay, next update about monster. In future, chance to get the Starlet Jet Breed will increase 1.6 times than normal if you grinding on any Mountain of Eternal Winter grinding zone. And also, they just increase number of this item that you get when you defeating special boss Rapture on Mountain of Eternal Winter from 1 piece only to become 3 until 4 pieces. And next about quest and knowledge, in future they will add option to rebox your Nouver cut outfit either for helmet and armor to become shield version again, so you can move it to another character or another class in future. And this rebox quest is daily quest that you can do it every day from NPC Loafie Bed Mountain, and you only can get this daily quest if you wear Nouver cut outfit either for helmet and armor or you have it on your per inventory. And this daily quest to rebox your Nouver cut outfit that you can get from Loafie Bed Mountain. To finish this rebox quest for Nouver cut outfit, you need to hand over 2 pieces Cantirna Crystal and also Nouver cut helmet or armor to get Shield Nouver cut helmet and Nouver cut shield armor after you finish this quest. And for this Cantirna Crystal, actually this is special item that you can purchase it from Francia NPC at Oderexia City for 500 million silver each pieces of this Cantirna Crystal. So in total you need 1 million silver to make your Nouver cut helmet or your Nouver cut armor to become shield again, and you can move it to another character or another class. And for more detail about how to get this Nouver cut outfit or Nouver outfit, you can check my previous video that I got you for more detail about process to craft this outfit. And they just fix some issue for La Ozerka armor that previously if you already rebox this La Ozerka armor and previously this La Ozerka armor already have socket, they will preserve this socket even after you open this box, after you rebox it to another character or another class. And I think this preserve socket for La Ozerka armor after you rebox it also will apply for Nouver cut outfit in future. And next for Node War and Conquest War, as they already mentioned on last Latnet Talk with Per Abyss at 3 August 2022, before starting Node War or Siege War, your guild can set color for your guild and another guild that participate on Node War and Siege War customly, and this setting only can be set by guild commander or higher. But take notice during Node War, any guild that participating from this menu will display as anonymous. But when you find the fortress for specific guild, name for this guild will be appear from this guild color menu. So when this Node War starting, you still cannot know any guild that participate to compete to take your node, and you can change the color during node war, and when you change the color for specific guild, system message will appear to notify any guild member that you already changed the color for specific guild. But take notice, to change color for specific guild during node war and siege war will have cooldown 1 minute for change it, so you cannot change it continuously. And for some guild that unify as guild alliance, will consider as one color. And then for another minor change, either user interface, system, and any other fix and change, I think all of this not too a big deal. Okay, that's all. Any future update from Global Lab Update at 5 August 2022. And special thanks to all my membership for direct support via Patreon, KiLLSTEAL, and YouTube membership. And also my current member, DubyaDude, JimmySnakes, Doki, Angel, Aeyrton, Kesshouban, KiLLSTEAL, Wammy, Token R42, Demonyte, Choz, ThugWill Ch, Jack Morris as gold member, and also all my silver and bronze member. Thank you so much for all your direct support. This will make Poli channel running and growing more faster. If you want to support me directly, I will very grateful. And as special thanks, I will put your name on my video, depend on your support level. And be noticed, for some level there are have some limit, so make sure you didn't get run out for this limited space. And I will put your name on every subsequent video that I release for the duration of your support. And if you want to join my membership to support me directly, you can go to any platform for Patreon, KiLLSTEAL, and YouTube membership. I already put link for this membership on this video description, or you can check on top right of this video. I already put card for Patreon link. If you like this video, you can like and subscribe to my channel for another guide and update. Thank you for watching. See you next time.